boy, oh boy, does it reek out here. But you know what I smell? I smell opportunity.
What I smell is pollution and climate change. Agriculture is an extremely polluting industry, releasing tons of greenhouse gases each year, especially methane, which is in itself an extremely polluting greenhouse gas. In 2017, 16% of Vermont's greenhouse gas emissions were due to agriculture, according to the Vermont Agency of Agriculture.
Well, how can we tackle this issue and make a change for the future?
The solution is anaerobic digestion. So how does it work? Let me break it down for you.
First, organic food waste and manure are loaded into a sealed, oxygen-free environment. In that container, they're stirred or agitated in order to keep the microbes within it nice and happy. Then it is offloaded into another container wherein sodium hydroxide and water are often added to keep the pH level nice and balanced, and heat is applied in order to maintain a specific temperature to keep those microbes as happy as possible. Then, after that, biogas containing about 60% methane is harvested. And then that gas is filtered to remove hydrogen sulfide, a strong odor agent, and other contaminants like CO2. Before usable natural gas is then harvested and distributed. Then, any remaining material is moved into a storage tank before liquids and solids are separated from one another, and they are treated for phosphates. The solids then are used as bedding for livestock, and the liquids are spread as fertilizer.
So now that we know how anaerobic digestion works, what are the benefits for producers, the community, and the world? Well, on the producer level, anaerobic digestion can be very profitable. On average, an anaerobic digester can generate around $370,000 a year for a producer from energy production, because they are able to save money on spending on energy bills and sell energy back to the power grid. It also has some other useful byproducts, such as these. On the community level, anaerobic digestion can reduce odor and reduce nutrient pollution, because the fertilizer that is spread on fields as a result of the digestion can be measured to reduce runoff and has less odor. On a global scale, anaerobic digestion is great at reducing greenhouse gas emissions. As you can see in this graphic here, on the left is a farm without an anaerobic digester, and on the right is one with an anaerobic digester, and you can see the big difference in the trend, as the left has a lot more greenhouse gas emissions shown on the y-axis than the right, which has less.
A couple of the drawbacks for anaerobic digesters consist of a few things. First off, upright cost. These anaerobic digesters are very expensive to install and maintain, but luckily there are a few grants available to help these farmers out. I'm going to list these right here on the screen. Next, according to the USDA, 90% of farms have less than 500 cows, and these farms don't produce enough manure to even make these anaerobic digesters sustainable.
Here we are at the hydrolyzer tank. I'm standing right now above the 264,000 gallons of food waste. That material comes in the form of liquid and slurry and gets deposited and pumped in through hoses. We also accept more solid material. That comes in through the solids hatch. There's two deck-mounted agitators here, and those push the food waste material around. The residency time for the food waste is about 5 days before it then gets pumped from the hydrolyzer into the anaerobic digester, where it gets mixed with the manure to generate methane that becomes renewable natural gas. Here we are at the anaerobic digester. This is where the magic happens. There's actually 2 digester tanks here, and each is about 1 million gallons. The manure and the food waste get combined in here with the gut flora from the cows. It consumes that material and generates methane, which is a very potent gas that gets captured in the headspace in these membranes, and that is the renewable natural gas that will be refined and then sent into the pipeline and down the line to the customers.
As we've just highlighted, anaerobic digestion can have a lot of benefits for the agricultural industry and make some serious impacts on climate change. As we've just shown, it has some real-life applications that are proving to be very successful, and with adequate funding and grants, they can become very accessible to many farms across the United States. What can you do to help? We encourage you to support local and national policy that favors anaerobic digestion and this up-and-coming technology so that farmers can reduce their upfront costs and start to implement these on a much broader scale so we can tackle climate change. That is the power of stink. All right, God, let's get out of here.